So today we are going to talk about Vendor of Swiss chapter 4 summary, right? So in this chapter, what are the main things that you find? Jargon actually thinks that Mali is writing a novel, right? So he's very inquisitive about it. So Jargon wants to know more about novel writing. He wants to know what is the novel, what is the language is he writing? Will he be a good writer? Is it okay to write in English? Is his English knowledge enough to write? Why can't he write in Hindi or other Indian languages, right? So many questions. So he wants to know. But whenever they talk, they do not actually come to a very good friendly conclusion. Always something or the other turns up because they seem to be attached from each other. So we see that Mali is quite attached, not really attached, but detached from the father. And they rarely talk to each other. Even though they live under one roof, they live in two different worlds, right? So we know that Jargon would put some money under the plate and Mali would take it and go out and eat. And when he comes in the night, only the burning light would say that he is in, or if he has taken the money in the morning, that is the sign that he has, come home. He has got the money, has been around. So we see that it's quite pathetic or quite sad. Jargon is based on his limited education, not that he is uneducated. He has got some education and he has a very strong cultural, religious belief. And also he has Gandhian principles, right? So he looks at life, behaves in a particular way. But his son is quite different. He looks at everything in a modern way. So they do not really tally with each other. The son belongs to the modern generation that is in quest or in search of new knowledge, change, and freedom. The son or Mali is not going to sit and listen to the father. Whatever the father says, he has something to say against it. And he always, throughout the novel, we see this, he thinks that the father has, old ideas. There's nothing to get from him, right? So the generation gap is an obstacle between the father and the son. Obstacle means some kind of a problem, badakya. So the final result of all these things is that Jargon looks careworn, very tired, right? He's thinking about Mali, he's worried about Mali, he's thinking about Mali's future, so many things. So he looks, or Jargon looks careworn, tired and worried. And also, there comes a kind of an idea for him. Since Jargon cannot get a lot of ideas about what Mali is up to, what does he do? As usual, he tries to get the help of the cousin. So Jargon gets the help of the cousin to know what Mali is doing these days. We know that the cousin is a very good mediator. He interferes into the lives of Jargon and Mali whenever required, and he is always welcome, both by the father and the son. And Mali also very nicely tells everything that he is up to the cousin, because they, get along well, they discuss. So thus, Jargon gets to know from the cousin that Mali is doing a temporary work at the library. Mali also made all the preparations to go to the USA to learn about writing novels. So that's a kind of a big news, right? Because by now, there is no reversal, no turning back. Mali has already found the money from Jargon. He has bought the tickets. He has got ready with the visa. His clothes are ready. He has made up the money. Everything is done. But the father doesn't know. But the cousin luckily finds out everything and makes Jargon knowledgeable about it. But sometimes Jagan is a little bit ashamed. He doesn't want to even show that he doesn't know. Sometimes he's very desperate, very much depressed even. Even though Mali has taken money and is going away very soon, Jagan does not feel like criticizing Mali. Always Jagan, even at the end or at least later on, Jagan approves what Mali does. So for example, the stolen money by Mali. This scene we can take as an example. Jagan says that anyway, the money belongs to him. I have earned the money for him. Anyway, he should get them, So he doesn't take a stern action against the son who has stolen his own money. He justifies it. Sadharnikarane karana. So all these things are done by Jagan because he is very timid, so much a loving father as well. And then anyway, whatever he comes to terms with. Now, earlier he was not happy about Mali being a writer, but later on, okay, he understands it. Writer means also great, knowledge producer. A normal student, normal person means we read others' books. But Jagan thinks that Mali is better than that. He's producing books, he's writing books for others to read. So that's great. So Jagan, comes to terms with everything. He's positive about what Mali does. But there is one thing that Jagan can't make up his mind still. Nevertheless, Jagan feels sad and is shocked about Mali going so far. Ultimately, it comes to his mind that Mali will be gone. He will be alone at home. Mali will go by plane. That's so scary. I should tell him to go by a ship. So like that, he always thinks, worries, and being alone and not seeing Mali for a long, long time makes him feel very sad. On the other hand, there is another thing. Above all, his national pride and patriotic, the love for the country, and his sentiments regarding them or emotions regarding them are hurt by getting to know that Mali is going to learn from white people in a foreign land. So Jagan is a patriotic, he has a national pride. He always thinks India is the best, Indianness is the best, right? So for such a traditional person to see that his son is going away from the country to learn from whiter skinned people is a problem. And also, as a villager, Jagan is scared of westernization, does not see any good in it. He hates it. We know that starting with the toothbrush and the razor, he even to the mirror, even to the clothing and slippers and food habits and everything, he hates them. He denies them. He denies whole westernization. He disapproves a USA living, the way of life of people. Jagan does not approve the way of living of the Americans because he says, even with the cousin, those people drink alcohol. They have free relationships. They are not very careful about their clothing even. And they are totally different from Indians in their behavior and all. So however much Jagan wants to stop Mali going away, now it's too late. He's going to be alone in the house. So we see a pathetic figure of a father. Jagan has done everything for Mali, and he always wants to do everything for Mali. And since the death of Ambika, he has done everything he could for Mali. He has never even blamed him. He has, taken up, and he has never talked against Mali even. But now such a son has not understood jargon. He's going away without even properly telling the father. So we can see what shock, what sadness, what loneliness is felt by jargon. But he is not going to fight against it because he knows Mali is not anyway listening to him. So he finds an easy way. He makes up his mind. Later on, we understand when we read the rest of the chapters that he tells everyone, my son is going to USA. Now he is in the USA. He's studying this and that. He has written to me letters. Like that, he tries to make up his mind. So we see the kind of situation felt by this father, being old, being troubled and worried because of the son's behavior. So if Mali understood jargon a little bit further, if Mali tried to understand the love of jargon for him, if Mali could understand, his father is different. He is not very much, good at exhibiting or showing love, but he has love in his mind. He's a traditional person. He doesn't tell, I love you, son, and all that, but he cares for the son, looks after the son, gives everything, wants always the best thing to happen in the life of the son. So anyway, finally, by the end of this chapter, we see that Jagan is trying to make up his mind because he knows he can't stop Mali going away. So hope that gives you an idea about chapter 4.